Broadcasting live from our little corner of the interwebs, this is the Retro Handhelds Podcast, a show about pickles and technology with your hosts Stubbs, Rob the Retro Tech Dad, Aish Rios, and today's special Canadian guest, Joey's Retro Handhelds. So sit back, grab a Gatorade, and let's get this aging gamer party started. Woo!
What's going on, everybody? This is Stubbs here from Retro Handhelds, here with my co-host Rob, the Retro Tech Dad, and Aish from our channel, and welcoming today our guest, Joey from Joey's Retro Handhelds, his inaugural episode.
Inaugural, yeah. Canadian.
Is that the right terminology?
First
Virgin
podcast.
Yeah.
We'll go with one of those.
We'll allow it.
First podcast ever?
Yes, actually, that is correct.
I feel honored. Well, we're going to get into it today. But before we get too deep into it, give Joey a subscribe on his YouTube channel at Joey's Retro Handhelds, correct? And
that's
all the socials. Sometimes you're at Joey's HH, which
you can't have a long name. It's Joey's Retro HH on Twitter.
They said no. So, hey, well, all right, guys, it's been quite the week. We had an episode, what was it, last Friday, and we wanted to fit this one in with Joey because he's a new bud of ours. He's a new partner of RH and kind of get to know him a bit. But first, as usual, we're going to go through the latest, greatest in the scene. Today, we dropped a video about the new 35XX. So there is a version 2 silently shipping for a while now with a bigger battery, 2600 milliamp hours. Cool, great. Why do we care? Well, because now they're also shipping it with Garlic OS as well as Stock OS in a dual boot experience. So combine those two things, we now have truly a new version of the 35XX. The Plus is still happening. But what do you guys think about this? It's actually been a little bit of drama about this, if you've noticed in the server today.
I'll go first. It's good and confusing, I guess.
Yep.
Most of us, I think, in the space are going to replace the SD card with our own. So we're going to throw Garlic OS on it anyways. So, I mean, it's good in the way that anybody that's not doing that will have access to Garlic. But for us, I think nothing changes.
Yep, I can see that. And, I mean, there's a bunch of things to dig into with this. Some people saying that, okay, it's Garlic, but they're going to include ROMs with it now and all the ports. Is that okay? Is Black Seraph okay with this? And he gave permission to use this software. I don't know about the ROM stuff, and Bernick always includes that anyways, so is anybody really surprised, I suppose, is where I come from.
We're already kind of treading that gray area when it comes to all that anyway, so it's just... They all do it. That's the thing. All the companies pretty much do it.
Yep.
It's what people want. Like, I can't count the number of times that I've seen people comment down like, oh, does this come with games? So you really can't get around that. Like, if you want your handheld to be successful to the average user, unfortunately, it's just part of it, because most people just want to grab it and they want to start playing. So I like that they included that, because let's say you're going to give it to a kid. Well, you just use the stock one and have fun. You can't really break anything. But if you want to get a little bit more in depth and you want more options, then Garlic's right there. And it looks like you can just go back and forward. So I think that's really cool. The ROMs thing, I mean, no comment, I guess.
It's a touchy subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we know which ROMs they're going to include? Are they just going to go with the straight tiny best set? Are they going to curate their own, or the usual suspects of what they're including?
So I have the full dump, the full image, and I'm going to look through it tonight. I'm going to actually, I got Bernick's permission to remove the ROMs and the copyrighted material from it and re-upload to our Google Drive, and I'm going to share that image out so people can turn their 35XXs into V2s. But I don't know what's on it. I hope it's better than what it came with the stock OS, because those, were those numbered ROMs, not the best. I like that the ports are included, personally, selfishly, because I can never figure out how to set those ports up correctly.
I know for like a lot of the ports, that's also kind of like, some of those are freeware, ports. So that is already kind of sort of more on the legal side. But I mean, again, all of it is kind of this gray area, and everyone's going to have different opinions when it comes to that. So it's just, I mean, Aish is right. Like, a lot of people do want that stuff preloaded, and that's the companies recognize that, and so it's kind of like, I'm kind of in between on it. You know, it's just...
You also have to remember that these handhelds are coming from a country where they're allowed to do that, so they're not really playing by the same rules that we are. Now you're buying a product from there, and if they're just shipping it the way it is, that what they're going to sell it and over in China, then that's what you're going to be getting. What you do with that afterwards, that's going to be up to you, and that's why I was like, hey, no comment on what you do afterwards. If that's the handle you want, the games you want, well, hey, you still bought it. I mean, you paid money for it, so.
Yep.
And to be fair, a lot of those. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, for me, if you're gonna include ROMs, if you're gonna go that far, at least make them quality, I guess, so we don't have people that are trying to save in Pokemon and it's not working because it's a bad ROM. Like, I think if you're just gonna go halfway, that's my issue with it. At least take the issues out of it. So if you're gonna do it, just do it right.
Stop putting numbers in front of the name.
Yeah.
Like, that's just
that's just put it alphabetical. Like, we just want alphabetical ROMs. That's all we want.
It's more work to number them. They're doing it on purpose.
Well, I love the random ROMs that they throw in there, like Samari.
Right.
Oh, the platform Pokemon games. I don't know if you've seen the random ones.
Oh, those are awful.
It's like Pokemon
they had that
Blue,
on the Game Fan. Oh, it's so bad.
It's almost like you wish they would maybe come to somebody in the community, like, okay, you're going to do the gray area bad decisions anyways. Why not put the best, like, ones that are compatible with retro achievements? You know, good ROMs at least. Come on.
I think they care.
This is ridiculous.
So
they need, if they care about so much and the hardware is just chef's kiss in so many areas, why not go the extra mile on the software? Why is it always the software? You know, and that's why we get custom firmware. We get devs making these custom firmwares. We get operating systems like Garlic, like Onion, like Jealous, and other ones.
It's true, because the 35XX, when it first dropped, I mean, nobody wanted one because it was crap out of the box. But luckily, Black Surf took to it very quickly, and so it's been a pretty solid device for a while now. You know.
Yeah,
and I see this all the time with a lot of devices that end up becoming much better once the custom firmware gets on there, and it just changes the experience, you know. So these companies are pretty lucky to have such an involved community, you know, working on this stuff.
I do understand why the OS was so basic, though, because again, if you're trying to appeal to large numbers of people, you want it to be just as easy as possible, as not break stuff as you can make it. And that's really what it was. Like, I saw a bunch of people arguing like, hey, wait, no, this is good if you're giving it to somebody that doesn't know how to use these things, or a kid, or anybody like that doesn't want to mess with them.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And when it originally came out, I think I said it in a video, like, the only things that I really wanted was like fast forward for some games. Other than that, like, if it's a very basic OS, I don't care. I'm fine with that. Just give me scaling so the screen looks right, and fast forward, and sure.
You're good.
And I'm good, which Garlic did. And it just keeps getting better.
I'm just looking through the ROMs list now just to see if maybe they did fix
That's
this.
the patron list, Stubbs.
Oh,
that's me.
Oh, thanks. Subscribe for more. Might as well play this clip too.
I was like, wait, what's happening here?
Does anybody know why Ambernick doesn't add Mario games?
I'm looking in the zip file now. I want to see if they did. And I'm guessing just because of Nintendo, right? Okay, these are still numbered ROMs. These are still numbered ROMs.
That's the worst.
So much.
There's no Mario games.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that.
That's why, like, my feeling for most of them is just don't even bother. Just I take the SD card.
We're always so close. We're always so close. Including Garlic as default is awesome. So close. And if you're gonna just don't include the ROMs. Don't include the copyright issues.
Honestly, I use a version that doesn't include a micro SD card. It tends to be cheaper, and it's like they're trash anyway. I mean, so it's just
more than 90% of those games you're never going to touch. Anyway,
it's true.
It plays 100,000 games. I'm going to play all of them for sure.
Yeah,
I see people commenting that.
Yeah. And the other part of this argument is some devs out there feel salty about a GPL license violation. Not going to name names, but okay, sure. Ambernic is violating a GPL license or another dev is violating a GPL license, why you gotta be a butthole in RH? That's what I gotta say. Go do that in your own server. That's all I got. Guys, what do you think about all that?
So, I mean, GPL violations are probably the last thing that they're violating on Ambernic's side.
Like, that's the lowest.
This is
It's so true.
It all up.
It's
the last, but
it's just on a long list of what else they're violating.
Exactly.
It's just that's the last thing. And people are saying, well, us YouTubers don't know what we're talking about, and we don't educate people about GPL. And so this needs to be a major topic of discussion. And I'm like, dude, I have to do deep Googling to understand the basics of this. So maybe I am a caveman. But all I know is that Garlic OS is freaking awesome. And also, Ambernic did a good job lately, and especially partnering up for this. This should be something to celebrate more than not, I feel like. And the saltiness of the community and some of the other firmware devs can drag the vibe down. And that's okay. But
well, I mean, you know how the saying goes, there's always a time and place for certain things, and where that channel was and what was going on there probably wasn't the time and place for that. That's a place for people to come in and get help on the device, and not really that kind of discussion. That could be taken somewhere else, and you can have serious talks about that somewhere else, you know?
Yeah.
I think people are not going there looking for that necessarily. So yeah, I mean, I it's important to understand both sides to the argument. It's always somewhere in the middle, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of drama there. So couldn't even keep up with all of it, honestly. It was just too much.
Yeah. Our
So
RG, Sorry, Joey.
No, it's just on as far as GPL and I don't know about Rob and Stubbs or Aish. The reason I don't talk about it is like you said, I don't feel I'm knowledgeable on that subject enough to kind of talk about it, but also I don't know if anybody cares, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean
we just don't
if you
think
go
about
look
it.
at my comments, they're mostly like, hey, how do I get BIOS and ROMs? And it's not hey, what about the GPL violations on this operating system? It's not
true.
A thing, right? And so I might have that 1 out of 100 that cares about it, but it's such a low percentage that it's just, I don't know if it's a thing that we need to talk about.
And the funny thing is, like, for me, I actually don't think I've covered really a device that has had that issue, or if there is an issue with it. I mean, I always try to give attention to devs, you know, so I'll always call them out. I'll give them all the support, link to them, link to their coffee page, whatever they got. Like, I always try to throw a lot of support and giving them some attention. But beyond that, I mean, I agree with you. I don't know how many people really want to dive into it and care. I mean, again, we're all playing on emulation handhelds that are already kind of skirting that legal gray area. So it's just, I
don't think people really care. Like, they just want the games. They just want to play them. That's it.
Yeah, I think 99% of the community, they're not even in Discord, they're not in Reddit, they're not on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever. They just buy the devices and they just want to have access to old games that they like from the past. And that's really what it comes down to mostly.
And that's the majority. That's really what the majority of people care about. And so it's just funny how a few people can make such a big stink about this, turn, one channel in our community into this big debate for days at a time. And while this person left, they'll be back. I'm sure of it. And they're a wonderful dev who makes wonderful software. So it's a tough position to be in. It's just funny that in this retro scene where we all get together to play games together, so many salty opinions, so much tension sometimes and toxicity in the scene. And at least in RH, come join our Discord. We try to foster a welcoming place for everybody to come together, to talk, to chat, to have a hub that's neutral, a neutral DMZ from the usual scene drama. And so it disappointed me a bit to see some of that get intense again this week. So that's my rant.
I tend to stay back from the drama. I don't really want to get involved with it. And even like on my channel, there's not much of that happening. So it's just really a place just to talk about games and enjoy games and things like that. And so It happens.
Yeah.
Gumby, just because they were jerks. Okay, and that's true. And that's the other thing is that, yes, I agree. I actually agreed with the arguments being made. Totally agreed. It's the way they were being said and the way they were said to other members and presented that was the negative spot there. So we hope these devs come back and continue that positive relationship that has been built up. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. I'm still stoked for this new version of the 35XX. I'm excited for the Plus that's going to come out. If you want to create a V2 of your own, you don't want to spend more money, good. All you got to do, buy a 2600 milliamp hour battery from AliExpress or Amazon for like what, $7 or $8. Plop that in there. We'll link the upgrade files for the software in multiple spots, and then just do your Dpad tape fix mod. You're good to go.
Don't do what I did and try to put a 4,000 milliamp battery in there.
Don't do a 4,000 milliamp hour
don't
battery.
try it.
What H is trying to say is he's lucky to be alive right now.
Yeah.
That's what I have is the 3500, but it's a fake one because it's actually 3200.
Yeah, they're always fake.
It's like those 10,000 milliamp power banks that is like 2,000.
Oh, that's good.
But just to comment on the last thing, I think anytime you have a lot of people coming together to work on something, you're gonna have disagreements. Like it's a normal part of things. Just let it cool down, and I'm sure everything's gonna be all right later on.
Yep, very, very much. I loving these comments so much, so much. Good.
How to know when it's too much? You'll know when it's too much. Trust me, you'll know. It didn't like that.
No, I don't think so. Well, that's not the only thing. Very well and good with the RG35XX and its magical 2600 milliamp hour battery. You can actually fit a 2800 in there if you wanted to. But the RG505, which some of us have covered in this square of people here, Rob.
Yes.
And its amazing 20-hour battery life now, post GammaOS life. I loved this video you posted, man.
It's crazy.
This was a lot of fun. What amazed me the most is that you have your smartphone not on power, so you were just confident that it was going to also last for 20 hours.
That Red Magic 8 Pro is a beast. It is a
really?
Beast.
You were like, no problem.
I can go through a couple of devices with it on.
With the screen on 24 hours.
Yeah. I mean, I have it like down pretty low, but man, that thing goes. It's crazy.
That's really cool.
The 20 hours right here so Gamma tested like just having it as a track mode, I guess. It was just hopping between different platforms, and he got over 20 hours. I did a straight Yoshi's Island test in game with SNES 9X and got over 18 hours. So unbelievable. It's just, can you imagine sitting there at your desk for 18 hours straight
playing
Yoshi's Island?
I want to.
But it could be done.
I want to take
crazy.
This challenge. Well, the ergonomics aren't bad on the 505. That's for sure.
I mean, very awesome. It looks like my turquoise is going to somebody who's in our chat. I know who.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Your video made me miss mine. Like, I think I told you why I don't have one anymore, but I want one again.
That was a good deal, though.
I couldn't pass it up. But it was really good. I remember when I reviewed that one. I enjoyed it.
It's pretty awesome to see from the 405M. Now we're getting the 505 GammaOS. Like you're talking about up and comers. Him as a dev, he's done amazing work. It's crazy.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, see, like the development community. I mean, Gamma Squeeze has done so much great work with the 405M and the 505, and really, it honestly inspired me to go out and make this video. I was just like, I'm really excited about this. Let me share my thoughts and kind of go through my story and my journey with this device. And that's the thing. Like, I think we can definitely work with developers and foster a very positive thing in the community. And
exactly,
I think, that's a good example of it. I mean, I have his direct coffee link in my description. Like, I want people to throw support to him, give him thanks, all of that. Like, I mean, I'm all for that. And I think, we can help these developers out. We can be the middleman and helping communicate with the audience. So if there are real issues that bother them, we can actually be those spokespeople for them, you know, but it has to be done in the right way. It has to be, you know, in a calm environment, in the right place, again, the right time, you know.
Do you guys remember how much hype the 505 had before it came out? Like none of us knew what chip it was going to be, and they just kept showing God of War running on that thing. Oh yeah, and I'm still mad they never made the black model. That one looked awesome.
That would have been good. I came away. Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say before that one, we never really saw a handheld running God of War that was not like $300. So I'll give them that. I mean, we're used to it now, but it wasn't always the case.
And having that OLED screen on there, that Vita OLED, that's pretty nice once the de-sharpening effect is off.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because when I first opened the device up for the first time many months ago, I was like, there's something off about this screen. I mean, it's really like the picture quality is just not good. And it's not what I remember from the OLED Vita. And now that I know, you know, today about all the over sharpening on the 405M and on the 505, I'm like, well, that makes sense now because the picture is nowhere near as bad as it used to be. And I'm like, okay, now this OLED screen can really come through and shine, you know. So it's nice to see that someone stepped in and corrected some of the mistakes that Ambernick made with their Android build, and it was awful. It's not a good one. I mean,
it's the same over sharpening that's on the 405M, exact same.
Yeah, same thing.
So confusing.
And it's really bad on the 405M. I mean, you can really see it, especially when you do the pull down. You can see it in the text. I mean, it's not good at all.
I like your Hawaiian shirt there. That's fun. And I love the acting in it. You're like, what?
The terrible acting.
It was amazing. No, it was. We want.
I had fun with this one. I just wanted to have fun. You know, it was just.
Those are the best ones to make.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite.
I was truly excited about it. You know, it's fun to see a device get a second chance. You know, so it was cool. It really has become more of a conversation piece now for me in terms of against the Retro Pocket 3 Plus. So yeah, it's good.
Didn't Sony do something similar to that screen with the Vita, where like but instead of sharpening, they softened it a little too much? I remember there was plugins for that. Well, I'm pretty sure there was a plugin for like Borderlands 2 with that screen because they made it a little too soft.
Yeah, and Gamma on the 405M fixes that over sharpening too, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I have a really good example from right here. You can, I mean, look at that. You can just see it in the text. That's awful. I mean, that's just, I don't know why Ambernick does the things that they do.
I mean, it's amazing he fixed that alone, but he fixed the L2 R2 working in native Android games, and that's something that's been forever now, and he does this in his spare time.
and I love the toggle between the performance modes. You can go like max power on it if you want. I mean, he pulled in the Retro Pocket 3 Plus drivers. I mean, he's done so much to this. I mean, it is an excellent experience. I mean, you just turn it on, you go straight into the front end. You don't see anything Android. I mean, really, it's just a good experience, and I definitely recommend it. If you have a 505 or a 405M, definitely low Gamma OS on there. I recommend it.
I'm going to. I have a 505 right now, and I still haven't tried it yet, but I'm excited to.
You got the gray. See, I did.
I got the gray.
I got the gray with you too. So
you got that Amazon overnight shipping, didn't you, Rob?
Of course. I saw you did it. I'm like, you know.
Oh, you saw me. Now, if
I'm like, you know, now I can give the blue one up to somebody because I know we had somebody on our Discord looking for it, so I was like, you know what, I can kind of spread the love and pass it forward and give someone else a good deal on the device. So
if I buy a D007, you buy a D007, then you cancel your order. Like, what's it going to be? Which is it? Are you going to keep this time?
Well, I might not. One's a good device, the other not so much.
I might not.
Did you see the PlayStation buttons for that?
That's why. That's why I got excited for it. I ordered those from Sakura like a week ago.
Damn, I should have told you to order another set because the shipping times are forever.
Well, I didn't know that you would want that.
Because it looks so good. And you put the PlayStation in the bezel, and it's like, oh man, it looks so good. It really does.
So freaking good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna load this on, and I'll do a video at some point. But I might just play. I might just play Star Ocean and live stream for 18 hours straight or something.
Live stream the installation.
Oh yeah, we'll hop on with Zoo and we'll help you do the install process.
Oh, the install?
That should be a quick 30 minutes.
Like I keep saying, nobody wants to watch me install software. Nobody does what the only reason I do that on live streams is because Android makes you do that. I have such a better time on Linux-based operating systems so that I can just get in and start showing you all games, stuff that does stuff. Android, you got to click. You got to tinker. You got to pull out your temperature gun and like all this crap.
I wonder if anybody really cares when we all do the temperature on screen.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. Some devices you really do want to convey that, man, this thing does.
Some people want that.
Yeah.
Some people want that deep tech stuff. So I'm like, well, I have this stuff here. I'll tell you the measurements and the temp. I don't care personally, no, but I know I can tell you it's getting sweaty or it's hot. But sometimes it's good to show the hard statistics if you have them.
When I did the fan mod thing on the Flip, I wish I had a thermometer.
All right, calm down there, Stubbs.
Oh yeah, look at that. Are you talking about a thermometer?
I was saying I wish I had one when I was doing the fan thing for the Flip.
Yeah.
Because the temperature drop on that one was crazy, but it would have been nice to actually have something to measure like outside temperature with it.
I like
not a water.
I'm just watching him play with a cup. I look over, he's like.
Nobody turned that into a meme. Now
we're going to.
Now, enough of that nonsense.
Oh man!
I like how you brought just a second life to this device, and of course, the Gamma Squeeze is the one you want to be thanking and tip him.
Absolutely.
He did an awesome job.
I did not do anything here. I just am a dude that loaded on there.
You
spreading the love,
Well, you presented your passion. That's what any YouTube video hopefully should aspire to do, and not just shill. Like somebody on our channel, Zoo.
That guy will say anything.
Shilling pickles, anything.
Anything. He's like Dave Chappelle doing commercials for Pepsi and Coke. That's Zoo.
Making them buy for his loyalty and love.
Yeah,
that's great.
So we're excited about this. The next thing that I wanted to just chat about real quick was the AYANEO Pocket Air. So there is a new update for that. We know now that it has Dimensity 1200 in it. That spicy, sexy chip that we saw in the GPD XP Plus. That thing slayed. They included these very pre-worn out buttons or joysticks that are all cigarette stained, and that's like kind of nostalgic for like when your grandma used to, inside. As an AMOLED screen.
Great.
AMOLED.
So that Dimensity 1200 is going to be a beast. I got pretty comfortable with it on the XP Plus, and it can do some serious PS2 emulation. It's pretty good.
It's pretty on par with the Snapdragon 870-ish, I think.
I forget. Yeah. I think it's somewhere along the lines on the Snapdragon side. Yeah. No, it should. The thing I guess I get worried most about with Aya is always price. Well, how much is this thing going to cost? That's the thing.
Well, XP Plus almost died on the vine there. Pretty much did at the $350 price point, $350, $400. So it better be under that.
Yeah. You can't charge us that much with the Steam Deck being out.
No,
and then don't forget the Odin. The Odin Pro exists, and it's still a very good value at that price point. The 250-ish. So, I don't know how many people are going to jump into an Aya product like that at $400, let's say. I mean, that's a tough sell,
Yeah, because it's not just the price, right? It's the support, it's everything else with Aya, and what other device comes out next week? Because they have, I can't keep count of how many devices they have going out.
Pocket Air Plus.
They have multiple high-end devices per month getting released.
I was chatting offline. And I was like, the Kun or whatever, and I'm like, is that the one that has the discrete graphics card? And then they're like, no, that's the 2. I'm like, I don't even know anymore. I was so confused in terms of like their product lineup. There's just so much. I can't keep up with it anymore, honestly.
It doesn't make sense. And so for Android, for me, I mean, I love Android, so I think everybody knows that. But I have a tough time with certain price points in Android. Like there's a price point where it makes sense and where it doesn't. And as you get into that 400 or 500 range, I'm like, we're real close to the ROG Ally and Steam Deck at this point. And I don't know if that still makes sense for Android as much as I love it. But
fully agree. Yeah,
it's real tough.
We were talking about that in another episode where I was saying that because you're limited in what you can do, like emulation and gaming wise on Android, it just doesn't make sense to pay more than, let's say, $300 for it when $400 gets you a Steam Deck.
Yeah, and it gets you into high-end emulation. You can start doing PS3, Xbox 360, all the stuff that you can't do on Android. That's the thing. So it's like people start to really think about what's next in that price point,
And you can talk about like, oh, the battery life is better on Android, but if you're really pushing Android handheld, you're gonna burn that battery much faster than what you would expect. So let's say with like the Steam Deck, you can get away with playing like 3 hours on a GameCube game. And if you try to do the same thing on Android, you're probably going to end up within that same ballpark. You're not going to be getting 6 to 7 hours on GameCube or PS2. It's not going to happen. Look at like
just get Gamma involved.
There you go.
There you go.
I mean, on the XP Plus, I think I got like close to 6 hours for PS2, and that was with God of War. So I was pushing it pretty hard. And this thing has a bigger battery. Which
I was going to say, 7350 milliamp hour battery.
So which is get like an extra 15 minutes.
No. This is something to talk about. This is the biggest battery in any Android handheld to date.
Wow.
The last biggest was the XP Plus with the 7,000 milliamp hour.
Okay, interesting.
So this is officially the biggest with the sexy screen.
That's gonna come at a price.
Hall sticks.
Man.
I know.
So is MediaTek more power efficient than Snapdragon?
If the drivers are made, it's yes, it is. Okay. But we need
that's
drivers.
The thing. Snapdragon has so many chipsets, and there are some that are more efficient than others. And just like, look at the G Cloud. The G Cloud's a perfect example where they picked that chipset specifically because of its battery efficiency. So it just depends on what the goal is, I guess.
It is the hardware is more, or the chip is more efficient, but it's not maybe optimized to the best yet.
Okay,
we'll see.
The biggest issue, like Kyle's saying, is the drivers. The drivers have always been a concern when it comes to Dimensity chipsets. Same thing with the Unisoc stuff as well. So that's always been the biggest issue.
Loving the pre-Cheeto tested joystick.
I keep eyeing it in the corner of my eye. I'm like, why does it look like they're covered in Cheetos dust? They still look good.
I can't tell if I hate it or love it. Like I keep looking at it. I'm like, there's parts to this that I'm really into, and then there's parts that I'm not.
Like I actually like the two-tone with the red. I really like the way that looks. But then I'm like, I don't know how I feel about those analog stick caps.
I think the white shell just makes it worse with the caps.
Yeah,
it just makes it stand out more.
It just looks like I've been pounding a lot of Cheetos in my spare time.
I'm not worried about that too much, and because your white joystick's going to look like that eventually, anyways, right? Eventually, at least right out the gate, they're saying, "Hey, have it be your forever device." Now, this is the same body.
Well,
looks
Aya,
like
there is no forever device.
I know.
Forever this week.
Forever this week, but this is the same body style as the Windows Air that they have, and that was the nicest, most ergonomic 5.5-inch device I've ever held in my life. So nice. Put Android on it, good battery life, more than an hour. I'm happy.
It looks like it's using that same AMOLED from the Air as well, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like the whole line uses the same thing.
It's impressive if they can pull this off. This is one I'm backing. This is one I'll be first in line to get this.
It might end up being the first Aya device I cover on my channel. I've never actually covered an Aya device yet, so I've always been kind of reluctant just because they move through their products too fast.
So fast. It's hard to get attached or have loyalty to any one of the products because as soon as you do, it's depreciating in value. Then the next thing's here.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? I'm out of this game. I got the Air, and I covered it real quick, and then. It doesn't.
And it was obsolete already because it came out. Then the Pro was shipping after that.
Yeah. Battery and all this stuff, and so having an Android one, which I hope they don't refresh as often, so we have time to like build a community around it, build a scene around it, do some fun stuff together. This might be a really freaking cool thing. They don't even know that they're doing it.
That's it. You got 1 month, and then we got a new one.
Yes,
seriously. And the thing is, like with the other devices, I'm curious to see how their Android implementation is going to be. You know, because that will definitely make or break the device. The hardware, fine, but the software, if it's bad, then good luck. Because
we're gonna go through that L2R2 thing all over again.
Yeah, sure.
It's gonna happen. You know,
it's just become like a normal test at this point. Like I think we all do it now because it's just like, why is this even an issue? I mean, why should this even exist?
Right. That Windows Air was one that I pre-ordered a long time ago and I canceled it before it shipped. But it's the form factor for me. I would love this form factor. I think it's perfect, but the battery life is what killed me on the Air. I was like, I need better battery, but Android, that's a tough sell for me.
Yeah, the price is the key thing for me. Like, I mean, I might actually not end up backing it if it ends up being way too expensive. You know, it's just
right.
And the fact that they haven't really disclosed it yet already tells you that this is going to not be a cheap device.
Yeah, I'm concerned. If this is over $500,
that's crazy.
I cringe.
think even over $400 is crazy.
I cringe that I'm going to be buying it for over $500 because I have to. But that's just me.
I know. I do not recommend
you
also want
anybody
for the channel, but it's like
for the channel, and that's always my excuse too with my family. Like, it's for the channel. I have to get this
content.
It's that spicy content. Well, not only this, they released another handheld. Now they've announced. What is this one? The Kun? How do you? I'm afraid to even pronounce this word. The KUN.
There you go.
What is this? I don't even look this up yet. Another Windows handheld? What's going on with that D-pad?
It's awful.
I hate your pictures.
Like
trying to find a picture of that thing today was so annoying.
It looks like a memorial card, like a funeral card. Like that's the writing. Like, that's what I'm getting.
I'm so sorry. Grandma's dead.
In the name of Kun, soars with the wind.
I guess there we go. I guess that's
these are the kind of holiday cards I get from like clients that are overseas, you know, so they're using some kind of translation, and that's about what's going on here. I definitely agree. That's very much giving me those kind of vibes.
All right, that's the word of the day, Kun. It soars with the wind.
Soars with the wind.
It's what plants crave.
Oh, man.
So despite the name, which I do need to investigate that more, I'm still laser focused on that D-pad, and it's like 4 quadrants of bullshit.
Well, this thing has got like everything. It's got the dual trackpads. It's got this weird D-pad thing going on. It's got Windows Hello. They're claiming it's the first device with that feature supported.
Who cares?
I mean, yeah, who cares is right. Like, it's their biggest screen, I guess. It's 8.4 inches. So it's just
Why would we care about this over their other 5 releases in the last 2 months?
Oh yeah, this is the craziest thing too with this. It's got a 75 watt-hour battery, and they expect that the device will come in at almost 2 pounds.
Okay, that's 900 grams.
I'm like, wait, you kind of lost me there.
ROG Alley and a half.
Laptop.
75 watt-hour battery's nice though. I mean, that's a nice departure.
Definitely.
It's
for sure.
What some laptops have, actually. That's what's so crazy about it. But I'm like, it's a 2-pound handheld though.
Like, and
this abomination.
Yeah.
This crazy thing here weighs less.
Okay. Okay. That's all I got.
8.4 inch screen.
Yep.
We got, I mean, of course, Hall sticks. That's just that's the default now. Hall L2R2.
Yeah, showing the.
And what chipsets in this one? Do we miss that?
I don't think they have formally announced it yet. It looks like, see, pricing, availability, and the processor, all that are going to be detailed sooner, so eventually. So, but I guess it's going to probably be something like a 7840U or something like that. I mean, what else would it be, I guess, you know, because this is not their discrete model. This is not the one that's going to have the discrete graphics in there.
How do you keep track of all? I don't know how you can keep track of all this. This is
it's a lot.
Their lineup is
follow RH on Twitter.
It's insane.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's,
Follow.
that's how you do that. You follow RH on Twitter, and that's it.
It's insane.
Yeah, and just subscribe for more.
So like I think the next 2 is the one that has discrete graphics, and that's probably going to be a $2,000 handheld easily.
Well, the word kun in Chinese and Mandarin means 3 different things. One, notably the Kunlun Mountains is one. It also means a descendant, an elder brother, or a style of Chinese poetry. Lastly, it means a newly hatched fish, or a legendary giant fish that transforms into a giant bird. So that's probably the meaning they're using here.
Yeah.
2-pound fish.
So I've never had a fish turn into a bird in my lifetime that I've ever seen, but I'm not ruling it out. I didn't know it was possible, and this opened my mind.
That's actually a feature of this device as well. It can transform into other devices.
Well, that's what Windows Hello can do. You see a fish, and it starts going at you, or whatever fish
Nothing
do.
like having a Chinese handheld
and you whip out
your
your kun, and you show it to the fish, and it tracks its face, and into a bird it becomes. Fly away it goes, off into the ether. You're like, wow, what kind of drugs did I take today?
That's what I'm wondering right now. It's just I have no idea where you just went with that.
That's what it's saying. That's what it. I'm just saying facts. I'm just stating objective facts here. That's all I'm saying. So, otherwise, except my shortcomings. So.
Oh man, this is
all right. So
that looks cool, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine.
They always look
nice for some reason.
It's gonna be $1,300 though.
I still don't understand why this Steam Deck has 2 trackpads, but I mean, I guess it's a thing. I'm good with one.
More companies need to embrace the little nub. The nub. We gotta do the nub.
No, like on the Win 4.
Yeah, I love that thing.
Yeah.
I think every Windows handheld should have that little nub. That is the best way to get around the Windows interface. It's tiny.
The Win 4. Yes. Yeah,
I love that thing. It's great. It's accurate. I mean, it's such a nice feature.
Yep.
Flying fish handheld. That's all this is to me now. If they don't include a physical keyboard or a nubbin or some way to make Windows better, I'm salty. I don't see the point. Joey, wait, you've been silent over there. You and I were just having a debate on Twitter about this 48
Windows?
hours ago. Yeah. You were like, this is good. And I was like, no, Windows sucks. On a handheld, though, I like Windows on it.
I think I'm the only one on Twitter. Everybody piles on when it's a Windows handheld, but
you guys are.
We're definitely the Windows guys for sure.
You're the Windows guy.
Actually, 100%. I feel like Aish also likes Windows.
I love Windows.
I'm by myself over here.
No, I do love Windows because just of how much you can do with it. It's just Windows was never meant to be interacted with a controller. So unless you have a keyboard and a trackpad, it's annoying to set up. Or a good launcher, like what Ally has. So if you don't have to mess with Windows, Windows is awesome. If you have to mess with Windows, well, they better give you the right tools to do it. I think the Loki was actually pretty good about how you control everything with just joysticks, but it's still not there.
Yeah, see, like when I do the Windows stuff, I hate using the analog sticks to move around. I find that to be very unintuitive.
Yeah,
I'll just use the touch screen. Honestly, that's just the way I'll get around. But on the Win 4, having that little nub is freaking awesome. It's a game changer. I really wish more devices would use that. It's very cool.
SteamOS spoiled me though. Before I got the deck, I was like, I'm gonna get this thing and I'm gonna put Windows on it immediately because I had the Win 600 before that, and then I grabbed it and played around with it for a little bit, and then I'm like, you know what? I don't want to put Windows on this. It's too easy to get around with on SteamOS.
Once you go full Windows, you never go back. That was my Windows on my Steam Deck. That was it. You throw Play Night on there.
I think you and I are the only ones who did that too. We put Windows on our Steam.
And you're happy.
I loved it. It was
Yeah.
fantastic. And then you get the Ally, which is just an upgraded version of that, and I'm like, yeah, I love this.
I didn't keep
How
my
often
Ally.
are you using the launcher, the Armory Crate?
I don't. It's so only for settings, game profiles and fan curves and TDP, all that. But for me, it boots right into Play Night. I launch from Play Night and I go right back to Play Night.
And for me, I love the command center. I think the command center is a great feature to have. It's
so
always
what you guys
there.
are saying is you don't mess with Windows once it's set up.
Oh, I still mess with Windows. I just like interacting with Windows. I still tap on my desktop icons and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm just weird that way. You know me. I don't usually take the time to set up front ends. I'm just kind of too lazy when it comes to that.
Me neither. And after spending a few days with the Loki, I'm like, yeah, Windows is cool. I don't really have a problem with it. It's just the setup process that's kind of annoying. But once you have everything running, and if you have a good dashboard, then it's perfect.
Now, JLash here says
turning it on and then going through all that stupid process of setting it up in the Windows updates.
Not fun.
That's the worst. That's definitely the worst.
But I gotta defend Windows here because JLash says Windows is horrible since 1995, since Windows 95, and I say no. Windows 95. Dude, that was an awesome operating system. USB was introduced.
98 took it to the next level.
98
Millennium
SE.
Edition was. Let's not talk about Millennium
We're not going to talk about that. Windows
XP
NT
was
the greatest version of
And
Windows.
you go right to
Can't hate
XP.
on XP. People loved XP. You know,
XP was awesome.
Yeah.
Service Pack 2. You have to go Service Pack 2.
I thought 7 was good. 10 was decent. I hate 11. I hate what they've done with some of the interface choices in 11. But
11 is
I hate the steps.
a clunky
I like the auto
system.
HDR on 11, but that's as far as
that is nice.
That's it. Like
you're saying 95 is the best. Okay. Can we agree that 95 was the best of the best?
No,
XP. I think if you're gonna go with the 90s ones, I'd say 98.
A 98 SE.
XP
is mine.
XP was built on the NT framework, so it's technically a little different than what 95, 98 were.
When did they start including? Continue, sorry.
No, I think XP was built on the Windows NT frame, so that's why it was pretty.
XP
solid.
had the grass background. That's all I need to know. That was the best one.
It was the best one.
Photoshop me as like an overlord burning village people on the grass plains in that wallpaper.
I like the default music that came with it from like David Byrne and all these people. Like that was so cool. And
the screensavers, like that's not even a thing anymore. The screensavers just disappeared.
With the 3D maze in the bricks.
I love the paperclip giving you tips. That was
and
the best.
E-Machines. The E-Machines logo was on there if you bought one of those.
Yep.
Did that paperclip have a name, by the way? You guys don't remember what I'm talking about?
Clippy.
Yeah, Clippy. Okay.
Clippy.
Clippy is a legend.
Yeah.
A legend.
Yeah.
Now, which one started shipping with Solitaire? Because that's going to be where I start my for Windows.
Oh,
that's back in like 3.1 earlier.
Way back for sure.
One of the first things I did with the Win 4,
like all that stuff.
All that stuff was back then. Okay.
I think so yeah. I'd have to look it up. I don't remember.
So
Kyle's saying he thinks it was 3.0.
Okay. All right. 3.0. Very good. I'll take that.
For a while. Yeah.
In my GPD Win 4 video forthcoming, I do spend a deal of time on Solitaire, like testing out the current version of Solitaire, comparing it to the older versions.
You have to test.
People
why are you laughing?
You have to.
Yeah.
So it's. Well, we don't have to talk about Windows anymore, guys. We can talk about other stuff. We can talk about like the Orange Pie.
Talk about Windows all day.
No. I want to talk.
What TDP does it run at for Solitaire?
I ran it at 4-watt TDP. I got easily 40 hours of battery life.
That is one thing that handheld PCs need. Like, you need to be able to set TDP profiles. Like, that's the only thing.
Yes, Black Seraph. He didn't make Windows. Sorry.
Are we sure about that?
No, not sure about anything anymore.
Exactly.
Anyways, moving on. The Orange Pi ARM console is coming. It is the RK3588 on this bad boy. So this one looks like a Nintendo Switch OLED, has really cool looking features, but there are some caveats. For instance, they're using a Nintendo Switch D-pad, a separated 4 buttons.
That's all I said in the chat when I sent this over. I was like, why?
It's melting.
The worst thing is, like, when we saw renders of this before, it didn't have it.
It didn't have it. No, actually, let me see if I can pull that up. I'll try to pull that up. But
they played the Loki game.
Why? So I don't think these companies understand the Switch D-pad looks like that because it can come off and then it goes sideways, and that's the whole point of that.
It was still a bad idea.
And it's a shame because I mean, this thing is going to be packing some power too, and it's like, why that D-pad?
Maybe that's why they just, you're going to be using the joystick. We don't care about the D-pad, but it's such a minor mistake that costs a lot of people buying it, and it makes no sense. Just put a proper D-pad.
It's very frustrating. There we go.
Wait,
so here's the original one on the left, and I mean it had a proper D-pad. It actually had trackpads. That's kind of interesting. Huh?
I think that's the x86 version.
Oh, is that the x86 one?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think these were the updated designs that they were talking about.
Yeah. Because the first one that we saw looked like that Pimax.
Okay.
Yeah. It was the one with like the circle.
Retro Dodo's got the wrong info.
Why are they doing this?
I might be wrong. I don't know. There's an x86 version coming too.
It says reveals updated handheld design. So was this not the one how it looked prior to this one?
I think it was.
No, was it? Wasn't the first one that we saw like a black handheld with orange?
We're the channel that covered this.
Yeah, I think it's that one.
Yeah, there you go.
The black. Yeah, that's the one we talked about a long time ago. Long time ago.
What
and
happened?
look, the D-pad.
Except Dodo's shortcomings.
That's what I'm saying.
The D-pad was there. No, well, it's Anthony's article, so we just got to bug Nara and say, "What the heck, man?"
Oops.
No.
I mean, the D-pad's still too low, but.
So what happened between here and now?
Yeah, this was like a Pimax ripoff, exactly.
They're trying to trick you into
that was
it's a
good.
Switch.
That was a good idea. And now
we stuck with
And
this.
now this.
Yeah.
It looks uncomfortable.
Okay, Goat
like
V8.
the D-pad's too high, or sticks are it's like middle.
Why don't you come by for a little stroll through my attic later? We'll talk. Hate is overblown. Now, yes, there's technically nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't feel good to play on, and so I don't get stoked on it. That's all.
You can't hate the Switch D-pad because there is no Switch D-pad.
Right, it's 4 buttons,
not
so
a
you can
thing.
play multiplayer.
Yeah.
There was never was a D-pad.
Exactly. You want a D-pad? Buy a Pro Controller. Which was
Yeah.
still a bad D-pad,
Sure.
by the way. You had to mod that thing.
Well, or as what PryTunes was saying, you can buy those overlays from Amazon and pop them on there
That's true.
and make it into a more traditional
I don't
D-pad.
go that far. I just live with it and just use the stick.
I just reshelled my Joy-Con. That's it. Like the Extreme Rate has the D-pad mod.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be threatening. I mean that with love. Although seriously, you're gonna have to sign a waiver if you go up there. I made my other friend do it. I went into the attic, by the way. I'll share the footage later in the year, maybe closer towards Halloween. But my buddy from the military went up there, fully trained, made him sign the waiver. He wasn't prepared. I had him film it. I was too scared, and we'll get into that at some point. But I hope he's all right. So Orange Pi, cool. They're also making a Windows handheld though, not just this.
Yeah, that's what Aish was talking about. So the Dodo article was showing updated designs, but that's not.
That's just the Windows.
That was the Windows one.
variant.
So they had the wrong handheld. Yeah.
Wait. So the other one is still happening then? Is that what I'm understanding?
I actually don't know.
I think it is.
I
saw something about that on Reddit.
Okay.
I don't know what they're going to be using, if it's going to be Linux or Windows or what's going on. I just know there's an x86 version.
Sure. Tight.
What game is on screen? I
don't know.
Can't see.
That looks like maybe like a new world, or what is this? One of those MMOs?
Is that the weird train game?
Oh, like
there's a new one there that's like an anime train.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what it's called, but I was watching like a YouTube commercial for it, and I'm like, this looks like a horrible game.
We're going to talk about Cheeto Steve on the July 14th episode, the patron special episode. We're going to have a whole episode dedicated to the lore and the madness. Don't worry. And we're going to talk about the 1X Fly at that point too, because there's some news coming to us from China about that. We'll talk about. You want pool noodles? All right.
Go away. Now I'm curious about this x86 one.
They said the manufacturing cost of this thing was $140 around there.
Really?
Wow. If I read that.
Wow.
So.
I am pretty intrigued by this this Orange Pi handheld. It looks pretty interesting.
They lost me with that button D-pad thing.
It looks uncomfortable.
It's
That's
a nice design. It looks decent. It's just, why that D-pad?
Yeah, because Nintendo made the design. They just stole it. That's why it looks nice. It was actually like research and development going into that design.
I agree.
Oh, that's great.
No, so not only this, but what about that TrimUI Smart Pro? I heard that there's new deets on this. Is Rob?
That looks cool.
Oh, yeah.
I like the design of this.
Me too. I think this looks really nice.
I hate how clicky it's going to be. Because they're using the same D-pad, and from what it looks like, the buttons as the TrimUI Smart, and I love that little thing, but it's just so loud.
Yeah.
I have it somewhere. Yeah, I can see it up there. I don't want to, but yeah, it looks like it's the same buttons and D-pad, so it's going to be pretty small, but that thing is super loud.
I like it. I think the retro one looks really cool.
Yeah,
I think it looks awesome.
It looks identical.
And I like the TrimUI Smart, the little guy there, but the screen I didn't like as much.
I didn't like the.
I hope this is a nice IPS
kind of
screen.
A low quality screen, honestly.
Yeah.
See, I don't like it with my handhelds yelling at me for playing on it. Like, I hate that. Like, I'm trying to play at night and just go click, 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 click. Like, no.
They'll never stop until we stop buying. I mean, that's a true statement.
Right.
Very true. Yeah.
I mean, as YouTubers, we can't stop buying, but you guys all can.
Yeah.
So
I know we were talking about this before. Do you think those are RGB rings, or is that just like a trim piece, do you think?
Ooh.
I can't really tell.
It'd be cool if it was RGB rings.
Yeah, I can't really tell.
I mean, there's no reason for it to be a different color on the other shells other than the white one, so I'm guessing it's a ring. Those sticks better be clickable.
Oh, jeez.
Like, that's a Vita stick. I know that's a Vita stick, but
it is literally a Vita stick, but it could just be a render, though. That's the thing. 4,000 milliamp hour battery is no slouch on this thing either.
No.
720p screen.
Power wise, it was like the Retro Pocket 3.
Yeah, that all winner is going to be a little. You know what?
All winner is like bargain bin chipsets, basically.
But if it's under $100, I think this is going to be decent.
Oh, if it's under $100, this, plus, like I was saying, it could be a new budget standard. You know?
They've made two other
horizontal. Yeah,
and they've made two other awesome devices. So I mean,
this looks good. I'd love to pick one of these up.
Yeah,
me too.
The design is cool.
And this one goes on sale end of the month, right? I think they're doing. Okay.
And what you guys saying that it should be at least like power wise close to like the Retro Pocket 2 or
3.
No, 2 Plus, 3. Right?
3.
Yeah, 2 Plus and 3.
2 Plus and 3. Yeah, okay. Yep. I mean, that's a decent chip.
That's pretty decent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so if we can get similar performance to that, that's not bad. You know, I mean, again, like if this gets under a certain price point, under $80, let's say.
Yeah.
You know, that
for
kind
sure.
of interesting.
I mean, that's some low level PS2 GameCube possibilities. I don't know. It's not going to be Android, is it?
Is it Linux or Android?
Right? I think it was Android. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, if it's Android, then
yeah.
Looking at the screen, I'm gonna guess that's Android. Just going off the top.
I remember reading that it was Android. I mean, they may have like their own front end going on here, but I'm pretty sure it was Android.
Yeah, if it's Android, you can get some PS2 out of it. Like, I played Persona 3 and Kingdom Hearts on the 2 Plus. Like, you can get some of it to run, which is cool. If it's not, then no.
Then forget about it.
Yeah, exactly.
We're done with this. We're done with this. You know what else we're done with? We're done with this topic. Hey, the Pimax portal update the portal is shipping now. Supposedly they're going to ship within 2 weeks. You just saw Rob and I do a live stream on Monday. And check that out if you haven't. I'll try to remember to link that in the description. But the Pimax portal, in reality, it needs some love. There is a survey, though, that Pimax sent out that Russ has on his Twitter, and we retweeted as well, so you can find it. You know, just go on Twitter. Fill out the survey, which I also need to link, and let them know what could be better. Because they're asking, what can we make better? All I said, D-pad, face buttons. D-pad face buttons. That's all I care about. I will love this device.
Well, and the other thing is, I mean, they have just barely started to get this thing shipped, I think. So it's kind of a interesting thing
to bring it up now.
Yeah, it's just kind of like what?
My guess is the survey is intended for a V2. It's my guess, but
I wonder if they're just not seeing the response they expected.
Not at all. They said that the market market response has been awful from both
there's a
VR
reason for
enthusiasts and for gamers. Well, yeah.
Well, VR enthusiasts, the VR function doesn't even exist. Yeah. This is a product that doesn't know what it's trying to do, basically.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think anybody wanted that crossover. Like, no.
The VR stuff, it didn't need to be done.
Nintendo tried it, and it didn't work.
You know what? The Portal does better than any other magnetic handheld is the magnets. Like truly strong magnets. Truly strong magnets. That was so satisfying. But I don't want to pay $500 for really nice magnets.
And I did put it in order for the base one, so that one that's $369.
Smart, because you get the same magnet.
$400 with shipping. So
you get the same magnets in the lesser version with the same strength as the better QLED. So that's the smart move.
Yeah. So I got it mostly just as a curiosity. I don't know what to expect. I don't even know if it's actually going to ship when they promise it's going to ship. So that will be
just put it in like a Labo cardboard VR thing and just
Opus. There is the VR controllers for this are non-existent because the VR doesn't work because it's not turned on yet. The functionality isn't there yet. Barely was working.
I would literally go find like an old Samsung Gear or whatever and try to pop it in there. It's just like...
It was it was a good experience with a controller. I enjoyed it with playing it with a controller because the screen is beautiful. The QLED is way prettier in person than it was on camera, and the power in that thing was great. The fan curve was really nice. The CPU governor was on top of its crap, but that's kind of where the good points end. And there was just from the D-pad to the face buttons to the joystick dead zones. Oof. Yeah, supposedly they're going to fix that in software.
Bad.
The D-pad's such
apparently are aware of it, so yeah.
The D-pad's such a low issue. I just include a normal D-pad. I don't get it.
I know.
The controller comes off. Like it shouldn't be that big of a deal to just here's one with a D-pad.
They could literally put the design together for this in a day and then have it in manufacturing. I mean, seriously, all you got to do is swap out the D-pad. There's nothing to it.
I love the magnets, and I want more handhelds to have that sort of idea of just pulling that apart. Like that's a cool thing that I really enjoy. But
it's cool because you can use it as a tablet on its own if you want to. Like kind of like the whole thing with the Razer Edge, the same concept, except this is a much more substantial unit as a handheld. So
and the screen ratio is so much better.
Oh, absolutely.
Than the Edge. I would pay up to $100 to just have the magnets. To just have that part of it. And play with it.
Oh my god!
At my desk.
I think I mentioned somewhere in the Discord. I think Stubbs just wants a handheld made out of a slab that's a magnet. The whole entire thing is a magnet.
Well, you got to be careful because if the magnet's too strong, you could start
you could wipe
pulling
your
in
discs.
Well, yeah, you could wipe your hard drives, but you could pull in energies and other things from other dimensions into your house. So you just need to be careful when you're dealing with magnets. Pimax's magnets I tested, and luckily they're just not strong enough to pull in dark energy, but they are working to keep the thing nice and snug. There's no wiggle at all. That's something I didn't show on camera. It was like a wiggle test. Check the CES video. I think we did it there, but it doesn't wiggle. And I was like, this is the coolest freaking thing of any handheld. That's why I think it's still a handheld worth talking about. Even worth buying, but only for extreme tinkerers because it's a mess.
My favorite was
just lean on the
disable Hall effect setting in the options that they had.
You can turn off the Hall effect. Yeah. Does it? If it turns off the magnets, the controllers just fall off.
It's like what? That's great.
It's a strong one.
I think if they would have marketed it without the VR initially, you probably would have had a better response. I think that's where people got lost. They got confused with, so this is just VR? But no, it's not that. So
it's not.
But,
yeah,
it's the Wii U effect
as well. It had it too. I actually have one right here.
They're like, what is this? I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
Well,
hey,
we're done with all that because, hey, we'll get into it. Aish, the Pimax is on its way to you. You know what the password is. Watch the live stream if you don't know. Poop and P1, capital P. So, Joey, it's your first time on the show and on a podcast. And what's your whole deal? How do you get into all this?
Yeah, it's been a crazy 4 months, I guess. April, I started. And
only started April this year?
Yeah, April 3rd, I think, was my first video.
Sir, you're making a name for yourself. You're already almost at 3K subs, like 33 videos. You're on a tear.
Yeah, content machine. No, I actually, I mean, if you would have asked me in January if I was going to be doing YouTube, the answer would have been no. But I saw all the videos on YouTube. I was researching handhelds. I'm like, you know what? This is something I like, I'm passionate about, and something I can talk to. And I'm like, let me try some videos and see if they work out, and got some good responses. Setup guides. I mean, I enjoy doing setup guides. I think a lot of people don't, but for me, it's like, I love it. And then helping that way. But no, what's funny is my 2 videos, the EMU deck for ROG Ally was the one that took off. And then Russ goes ahead and releases another video on it like 5 days later and eats my lunch on it. But it's funny. But
dude, 43K views is not shabby, especially in your first 6 months of YouTube. That's incredible. And the fact that you enjoy making helpful content, which also happens to be really the best kind of content to make for YouTube. You're just going to go. You're going to go places. You know, a lot of people want to make really shallow content that's fast, get the views, get the clicks, maybe get some affiliate sales, and then move on to the next thing. The fact that you're putting your care and time into this, and lately I saw like upping the production value, showing your face, having a backdrop, all this stuff. It really adds to that professionalism, and I'm a fan, and that's why I was in your DMs. I was like, hey man, this is some cool stuff. You know, this is come join RH. Let's talk.
Yeah, one of the things you don't think about before doing this, you're like, hey, this looks easy. Some guy's just on camera, he's showing a device. It's super simple. It is not at all that way. The amount of learning I've had to do in the last 4 months of editing, microphone, even like I've had issues with that. It's crazy. But yeah, and the way I say executable. Or executable is one of the funny things, but no, it's been good. I've been really liking the support and enjoying this.
Yeah, well, and now you have an SNES in the background too. Is that a real one?
Oh yeah, that's real.
Nice.
I moved it, but so I found it. It was just kind of in my closet downstairs, and so I went and bought today a 4x3 monitor, a Dell. And so I'm going to connect my SNES, my N64. I have a PS1 and a GameCube, but I got to bring it over from my childhood home whenever I get there again, and connect them up. But yeah, I have all of it. I've had them all. They've been in storage or kind of around.
Well, they're good, not only backdrop pieces, but I hope you can hook them up. Maybe get a CRT back there or something. Play some of that Super Mario World.
I want to steal your Commodore, Stubbs.
Yeah. Well,
I've been actually eyeing one on.
If you come up to Oregon, you can have it. Okay, I'll just give it to you. I don't need it, but it's hard to sell a monitor.
Oh, I know. I was actually eyeing them on eBay to see if I could get one.
It's tough.
But I like the Stonys.
The shipping is so crazy.
Yeah, that's what kills it.
I just use it. I mainly use it as a backdrop for the podcast and videos and stuff. But
yeah, that's what I would do too, because I feel like it picks up better on camera, I think, than an LCD monitor or anything else.
I think so. Yeah, I think it works a little bit better. I have Star Ocean 2 playing right now. I don't have it framed very well right now, but it's been fun, and I have been using my PlayStation 1 with it lately. So I do sometimes sit in here late at night and just cross-legged on the carpet playing my PS1. if it's been a long day, you know, I don't want any emulation. I don't want any tinkering. I just want to get that feeling from 1996 for a few minutes before a kid wakes up and screams. And I'm like, right, that's right. It's 2023 and I'm 38.
That was my plan today. I hooked up the SNES and put it on my OLED TV here. And I realized I didn't have any cables to connect it. So I used the old school RF cable. And it was terrible. But it didn't look good at all.
It's so bad.
And so it's all wavy. Everything's going wrong. So I ordered S-Video cables to get here for the actual monitor I have.
And you got to get the Commodore 1702 monitor here because it has an S-Video input. So you can get like high def from the 80s on this thing.
Yeah, that's
and there's
here, this Dell.
Oh, you do?
80s HD.
Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah. Well, you got to get the multi-switch port thingy pusher. You plug multiple systems and you push a button and it switches the system. And you can use a pool noodle like this to actually...
Gonna knock everything over.
Yep.
And he just did.
Yep.
Name the one game you've logged the most hours in. For me, it'll be World of Warcraft, I think, and Rocket League's probably a close second.
I have no way of verifying this, but I'm pretty sure it was Pokemon Yellow when I was a kid on the Game Boy. Just I would leveling up a Magikarp was hell, but I did it. Probably that and then Skyrim.
I think
Easy
Fanny
Skyrim.
Star Online. I played that game a lot back in the Dreamcast days. Oh man.
And Raven sent me this chicken. This is so nice of him. And I actually pulled this over here with my pool noodles. Anyways, guys. Joey, so you don't only make videos, you also exist outside of making videos. And you have a life and a wife and children's? No.
No children. Just
no children.
We have some guinea pigs and some goldfish.
That's close enough.
Ooh, I love goldfish. Those are fun. Oh, have any of your goldfish ever sprouted wings and flew away when you showed them your kun?
What?
I can't say that they have. No.
Okay, now let's not go around showing our kuns.
The word of the day. I have to advertise it. That's part of the program here. Thank you. Good. And so you do. You know, you and I were talking a bit in DMs. Traditionally, you do sales, right? You're in the sales industry, like the tech sales industry.
Yeah, tech sales is my day job at the moment, and it's been 10 plus years now in that segment.
Cow.
Yeah.
Are you ready to move on from that? Is that?
Oh yeah.
You're done with it.
If we can get everybody to just keep subscribing and viewing, then I can move on to this. No, I would. Yeah, I mean, sales I don't think is always a long-term thing for anybody, and definitely not for me. So I would love to move on, but what that looks like, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I don't have it's not an interesting job. I don't think it's sales. Yeah.
Do you want to do YouTube as your main profession one day? Is that sort of the goal?
I mean, I would love to. So the one thing I think for most people is you always want to do what you like, right? And what you love. And for me, during my day-to-day, as I'm doing my 8 hours or whatever it is, the one thing I keep thinking about is, man, this video, I'm scripting, I'm thinking of my next thing that I want to do. And I just keep doing it. I'm like, I wish I was just doing that right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would absolutely love for that to be the day-to-day. And if things continue as they are, I mean, I don't see a reason why they wouldn't be. Like it's been some good momentum and something I'm definitely interested in. So we'll see.
And the space keeps growing too. And there's also
we're at the begining.
A lot of crossover with other areas on YouTube as well. So again, we're technically covering gaming. So sky's the limit really in terms of what you can discuss, you know.
Like you said that you wanted to do history, right? Like game history and all that sort of thing. And I mean, yeah, you can go any different direction with anything you want to do. Like even what Retro Dodo is doing, kind of history of and sort of that sort of thing. Yeah. And the Fox today is talking about other things, like your favorite retro games back then. And so like everybody's kind of doing their own thing.
And that's the thing. Once you have a decent amount of an audience, you can start to kind of deviate a little bit and kind of exactly, and see what works, what doesn't work. And then you always have your your bread and butter, but kind of can go a little bit in a different direction, which is nice when you have the growth. That's the key thing. So
it's nice, and eventually you do kind of evolve into the place where you are buying frog suits off Amazon, having fun with that. You are playing with pool noodles live on stream, trying to grab chickens and things out of your room. It's really at that point where you feel comfortable enough with your audience, you feel comfortable with the people you're with and doing awesome things with, to where you can be yourself. And like maybe you're weird, and that's like okay, especially in this scene. I think maybe that's encouraged even. So just let your weird self hang out as much as possible. That's my recommendation. Oh no, I have multiple DMs happening right now.
Unless you're Zoo, maybe dial it back a little bit if you're Zoo.
Yeah, if you're Zoo, technically a restraining order more is the way you want to go. But
I mean.
Yeah,
there is such a thing as too much.
There is such a thing as too much. Speaking of too much, you guys see that the freaking RGB 20S is being rebranded. This is an off-topic subject here, Rob, but it's being rebranded as the Pocket Arcade, and it has a 4090 Ti inside of it. I think it was actually in Joey's channel in our Discord.
It was,
which, by the way, if you want to chat with Joey,
4098 Ti.
come to our Discord, chat with Joey. He has a channel in our Discord with a Joey Kangaroo, and we talk about 4090 Ti's and handhelds. That's the main
4098 Ti's, which
4098,
which is not Windows even a thing.
Windows 98 plus the 40.
It is now.
It had
in an RGB 20S.
Chat GPT, like somebody just put in a script and said, "Here, do this."
That would explain so much of like the handheld advertising if it's just Chat GPT like generating all this.
Hey,
stuff.
Tech Dweeb. Hey man, we got to have you on the show sometime. Great to have you in the chat.
But only if he does hands only.
Yeah, want to see hands only. Are you gonna do the voice if you come on the show? Because we got to have that. I'm intrigued right now.
I'm a fan right here, so I hope he does.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are some of the most fun videos.
They're so good.
Now, Joey, have we proved that you're not Tech Dweeb? We
actually have not.
See? I keep saying it's someone we know already.
We've also never seen me and Russ in the same room either, so I could also be him.
No, the tattoos are different. But
well,
Tech Dweeb has long sleeves on every video, and now
that could be ETA Prime.
True.
Well, no, that could be Stubbs. We still think Stubbs might be ETA.
I don't actually
we haven't really proved that.
That's the demon that I summoned from my attic.
There you go.
It started a YouTube channel.
That's why it's not there anymore.
Oh my gosh, that's too good. Hey Joey, I gotta ask you before we move on. I need to know two things from you right now. It's very important. One, what handheld best describes your personality? Think about it for a minute. I'll give you the other question. Yep. And then, same as the last episode, I need to ask you now, which handheld would you delete forever? Which handheld would you keep? And which handheld would you adore for one night?
Okay. That one's easier, I think. I would absolutely, and this is just going to be a tease for the upcoming video, I would absolutely delete the Retroid Pocket 3 Plus Metal Edition. Completely delete it. Just remove it from existence. I would keep... Let's do retro, because I mean, saying ROG Ally would be the easy answer. The 405M is... I
was gonna say you're the 405M.
Yeah, I love that 405M. It's probably my perfect handheld right now. And then adore.
Just one night of unbridled passion with the device to play with, like full settings, not worried about battery life. You're gonna run it to the ground.
Oh, okay. The AYANEO Kun. We're gonna go with that one. I don't want to worry about I want to soar in the wind with that device. My fish becomes a butterfly or whatever it is.
Your fish becomes a bird and soars with the wind.
There you go. Yes.
Yes. Newly hatched fish. A legend becomes a legendary giant fish that could transform into a giant bird and fly away. That's the definition that Google's telling me. Yes. My goodness, everybody.
If it weren't $2,000, I'd probably back it just for the fact that it's a meme.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks really nice. Okay, those are solid answers. But which handle describes your personality, do you think?
It's got to be either the Game Boy or the Game Boy Color. I'm going to go back to old school because old school vibes, oldie but goodie, I think, is you keep going back to it.
What game are you going to put on there? Like, what's the one game you gravitate towards in the Game Boy or Game Boy Color?
Pokemon Blue. It's always Pokemon Blue. Nice. And if it's not blue, it's silver. I could live forever with those games. That's it.
I was a Pokemon Gold kid.
Were you? Okay, so we were the opposite.
Yeah.
Blue
I think we all came together with Crystal in the end, though.
I like Crystal.
Yeah, Crystal was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you guys ready to trash talk some D-pads? That's the main topic of tonight.
Oh, yeah.
It's the final topic, too, so we have time to get into it.
Squirtle is the best water starter. Sorry. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that
my favorite Pokemon of all time.
Objective truth?
No, Mudkip is a better choice because the dual typing.
I don't know anything about Pokemon.
It's water and ground.
Oh, well then there you go. It's the Mudkip.
Yeah.
Need a fun shit talking song here. That's
Squirtle is cooler though.
Yeah. Do you have any angry music?
I'd probably say Squirtle first, then Totodile, then Mudkip.
Yeah, I would agree.
But usability wise though, Mudkip. Because it's kind of like Quagsire, but Quagsire is probably a little bit better. I might be wrong.
Is this angry music?
I was going to say, this is not angry
This is
music.
funky. Sorry, guys. This is... I'm really feeling funky and upset right now.
Interesting choice for being upset.
Okay. I'm going to get over feeling so funky and good right now and be angry about, once again, why did this ever happen? And I understand it was a multiplayer thing. Okay, fine. But why do we replicate that on something like a new all-in-one device like the Orange Pi? Why? Yeah. Why are D-pads trash? Or why are they never the focus? They're the last thing any company seems to focus on unless they are, I don't know, who makes good D-pads? GPD certainly makes some very good Vita clicky D-pads. AYN makes good D-pads.
Ambernick probably makes some of the best.
Ambernick makes good D-pads.
Yeah.
They're,
I don't know why companies feel the need to reinvent the wheel all the time. I don't understand it. I don't like the D-pad's been perfected for 30 years now.
They must see the Switch and see, they sold 130 million units, so let's just copy them. But man, they didn't sell that because of the D-pad. No, it wasn't that.
Nothing to do with that. Yeah, exactly.
There's so many indie games that I have on my Switch that I didn't play just because of the D-pad. Like I don't want to play them with the joystick or with that monstrosity of 4-button thing they got going on. Like it was a cool novelty. Like you could take it off and play some Mario Kart with somebody else and then slide it back in. But that should have been like an optional thing or maybe an add-on. Like, hey, you got the regular D-pad, and if you want to get this, we have a Joy-Con that you can buy for like $40 and you get the dual thing. But no, Nintendo just buckled down and they still haven't done a D-pad.
No, they don't believe in D-pads. They believe D-pads are for the weak.
Thankfully, there's a lot of other companies that definitely have solved that problem, which is again, that's the nice thing about having.
Like they had a stranglehold on D-pads for decades until they lost the patent on it, and now they're like, we don't want to do that anymore.
It's crazy because they essentially perfected it with the NES. It's like, again, like why are we reinventing this? This method of input works and it works well. It doesn't need to really change all that much,
Right.
Like I can understand like when we moved from the N64 analog stick to what we have now, that makes sense. The N64 analog stick was pretty rough, but
it's a horrible controller. Just
yeah.
It's so bad.
I love handing it to someone is pretty young and they don't know what to do with the N64 controller. They don't know how to hold it. They're like, what do I do with this thing?
I was using it today. I have it right here, and it's all yellow after all these years. But it reminded me of that stick, because every time you would go to somebody's house, you'd be like, "Is this a good stick, or is it one with a drift on it?
Oh, yeah.
Is it going to the left or the right?"
I had a couple of those for sure when I was younger.
But yeah, the D-pad thing is it's weird because I don't understand it. Like, why can't you just put a normal D-pad? Why do you have to reinvent every single device to be different in that way?
You guys know like the first 5 to 7 years of this hobby, all of the handhelds coming from AliExpress or wherever had these just terrible D-pads, just the separated ones like this. They still have some of those in the low end budget segment. But then we started getting, D-pads like the Odin, where it's like, oh, that's so buttery. Like, you get a full range of motion and you get that nice pivot. Oh, that's good. And the 35XX, once you fix it, also.
Yeah, and that's more of like a traditional D-pad from the NES days. And then you got the people who like the more micro switch style, Vita style.
Like the Vita, which is solid.
I think they've grown on me, but I'm still not the biggest fan of them.
Yeah.
Just I love the tactile feel of it, but it's too loud.
One of my favorites was the micro switch, the clicky ones from the Neo Geo. The CD controller had awesome ones, and the Pocket had a really cool one. Yeah, that's a cool handheld. The Neo Geo Pocket is so cool.
Yeah.
Like the Vita one is probably as clicky as it can get, and it's still usable for me because I don't like click pressing back and forth. But
there you go. Good. Does it have it on the 3 Plus metal? Is that clicky
you know
style?
what? I actually like the D-pad on this thing. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it is good. I've always liked the retroid stuff, the 3 and 3 Plus.
If these buttons came in men's, I would love this thing a lot. But it's the D-pad that I mean, it's good. Most of the devices that I have, the D-pads are pretty good as long as they're this style. It's when you get into those button D-pads that I just can't do it. Even a terrible D-pad that's like this is fine with me.
Yeah, because Sony put a lot of money into that D-pad.
Andrew, why the hate is the color? Oh, because of the 3 Plus.
This color.
Yeah, I love the color on it.
I finally got the shipping notification for mine yesterday. I'm like, man, they took a while to ship that thing out. I was like, wow.
I think I might be the only one besides Russ that actually got one pretty quickly from what I saw. I haven't seen anybody else that get
mine's in transit. Really? That's an opportunity to get some content out on it. I mean, we're excited to see.
On vacation for a week.
I know, poor timing, but I want to hear your hot takes. You and I were talking before the show about how maybe it wasn't your favorite handheld, but I'll save the suspense for video.
Yeah, I always hated the little tiny buttons on the Retroid Pocket 3 and the 3 Plus. It's just they're just so little.
That might be the least complaint that I have with this device, and I love the internals of this. Like
the big one
the Android
for sure
build.
The start select, I'm assuming.
It's the start and select, the volume,
the volume on the side, like all that stuff. Like,
this goes back to the D-pad conversation of like, who's designing these things and why are you designing it this way? If I can get the 405M, which is smaller than this, and it has all of those buttons on the face, why does the Retroid not have that? Like, why couldn't you figure that out?
Hey, we all know who made that handheld.
It was you, Joey.
It was Joey.
Okay.
It was Joey.
But no, I love the internal, like the actual Android build, the screen, all of that is fantastic on here. And the color, of course, it's amazing. But
the 3-line, it just never has been my thing. I keep trying to get into it, but I think it's just the ergonomics of that particular shape that I can't enjoy it for long periods of time, even with the ergo grip. At least the flip, I don't know. The flip is a little easier for me.
I don't care for the flip at all. I don't know. It just didn't really click with me. Kind of just, it's not even in here. I don't know where it went, but it's usually, it just sits around for the most part.
I like it.
Like the 505 used to be for me, where I just use it in videos and compare. And for shots.
And it's a backdrop piece.
Now,
That's all it is.
If the Retro Bucket 4 is a mixture of the Flip and the 3, I think they've got something going on there. But yeah, definitely having Start and Select up top and no function buttons.
This is the clamshell king.
Yeah,
Still.
I love the XD.
The Flip tried, and I like the Flip, but I love the XD.
I love the original XD. The colors that they did for that. That blue is beautiful.
That blue, yeah,
that's
that blue
nice
is
and
amazing.
matte. It's like the 3DS. I think they're going for that 3DS blue.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is my favorite of the XDs, and unfortunately, of course, it has an old 3288 or something. It has an old rock chip in this.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't. It performs okay up to Saturn.
I know you can take the shell from the XD and use it on the XD Plus. I think that was confirmed that it works.
Which
so
will get you.
If you can find one that's cheap, it's actually kind of a cool thing you can do. You do a shell.
I might try that. That's why I have this and an XD Plus still, and I want to try that at some point and get into. I don't know, but we don't have a new Clamshell King yet. I hope the Miu Flip brings that fire. So
yeah. How often do you guys keep devices just because of the colors or how they look? Because I'm struggling with that all the time.
It's one of the main. I mean, that's why I still have this. So
why I still have my. I mean, I love this thing. My blue Vita.
The blue Vita.
Like if seeing it, seeing it brings you joy, then
can't get rid of it. I won't ever.
Then that's fair.
You know.
Goat V8 is asking about the 8-bit dual light and how it's got 2 D-pads and an extra D-pad. So it's got 3 D-pads in one controller.
You know, that controller is actually
awesome.
surprisingly pretty cool. It actually is pretty usable. And the D-pads click in, so they reproduce the L3 R3 function.
Yeah.
It's crazy how decent they are. It's a really weird controller, but it's good.
That's awesome. I love that there's a controller out there with 3 D-pads. That way we can, like, both camps can have a win. Like, does the D-pad go up top or below? I think you're both right. But one of you is more right than the other.
D-pad bottom.
Or you could do something like the Atari Lynx, where you could satisfy the left-handed players and the right-handed players and rotate it.
Like, I'm okay with D-pad bottom if it's placed correctly. Like if it's placed something like that, I don't know where the Loki is, but Loki should be around here. But if it's placed like that, where it's at an angle, then it's fine if it's in the bottom. But if it's going to be stacked, then top all the way.
I think it just is hard to use me. Like, actually, the place, I don't know what it is. The placement was just right.
It's
between
slightly
both the analog
off.
Stick. Yeah, both the analog stick and the D-pad, where it's comfortable.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you're trying to use on it. I don't know why. It's just I think the positioning is just right between the two.
So I've been playing with the 353 PS this week, and I had the 405M, and I'm comparing the two of them, and they're both super comfortable. And I don't know which one I like better, but if we can just keep getting devices like that in that ergonomics and comfort, it'll be nice. Some nice.
I'm
devices.
still holding out hope for
so.
a 405 plastic with the D-pad up top. Because that 4x3 screen, like, I want to play like Super Nintendo stuff on it, but it's the D-pad is good. It's not in a bad place, but I know I would like it more if it was up top. So just go to the chiropractor.
I do go to the chiropractor, and it's amazing. I love the chiropractor. I'm like, doctor, yes, please crunch my bones. It's so good. You guys see those YouTube? I know. I got to show him how my back's like the best clicky D-pad. That was kind of weirder than I meant it.
Oh yeah.
Hey, look, somebody's taking credit, or am I taking credit for your work, Rob? Because he's saying, got it, because of your video. I didn't make a 505.
I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. I made Rob's video for it.
I mean, it's the same person, you know.
It's a bit the same.
Yes.
We all.
KTR1.
You popped your knee?
We had a whole conversation about how we kind of.
Well, that happened to me today, actually.
Popped your knee? Oh!
Yeah. Like, I've been having knee pain
great.
for like 2 weeks. And I was in class today, and we were doing like this new move, and
Let's do some calisthenics.
my
together.
teacher grabbed me and he like yanked my knee and it popped, and I was like, "Oh, the pain went away." It was nice.
No, Giancarlo, we're just giving you.
Yeah,
it was a funny.
I'm like, hey, it's cool. I'll let Stubbs take credit. I don't care.
Tech Tweed, the only acceptable reason not to choose the Pimax Portal as the worst D-pad is that it's not actually a D-pad. It's a practical joke.
That's fair.
That's what I was saying. If you have 4 buttons, don't dare call it.
It's not a D-pad.
It's not.
Well, and like the Switch, you can pull those controllers off and use them as 2 separate Bluetooth controllers. That's kind of cool.
Unlike the Switch, it will not sell 130 million units, and so no one's going to make accessories.
No one's going to know. It will be a footnote in history, unfortunately.
It will always have that crappy D-pad forever because Pimax won't do it either. So,
So are we on agreement that D-pad up top and rubber membranes are the best?
D-pad up top.
With rubber membranes.
Yes.
I like rubber membranes for sure. D-pad rubber membranes are good. But
I'm okay with clicky D-pad.
I'd go either way.
I'm okay with it, but I prefer a rubber membrane D-pad.
I think I prefer. I go back and forth in this, and I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but lately I also prefer the D-pad up top. Lately.
Yeah.
It depends. But it depends on the game I'm playing.
Like the Xbox.
Unless it's laid like if it's in this layout where the
okay.
stick and the D-pad are at an angle, that's fine because your thumb's going to sit there. But when they're directly on top of each other, like with the Odin, I like the Odin D-pad, but it's a weird angle. Like you have to fold it, and your thumb's too far down, and it's just not. It's not the most comfortable way of doing it.
Yeah.
And if you want to play like a Super Nintendo game or a platformer, and you want to play with and you want to use D-pad, then it's just better up here. Plus, the stick is just easier to use if it's at the bottom anyway.
No.
I agree with Ambernick being.
What do I have for you?
It's out of all the Chinese emulation.
Hey, if we want to summon Zoo in here, we could talk about the RK 2023 D-pad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
I was gonna say we're gonna get real heated about that RK 2023.
It's perfect.
I think it's fine.
I don't care what Zeus says. I think it's
fine. I think it's
got a great pivot to it.
I don't think
responsive.
Like, I've never had an issue with
it. I mean,
D-pad
like
up top, stick on the bottom.
Hey, what about X28 though? My X28
is pretty solid. Yeah,
my X28 is super solid. Apparently, a majority of them I have issues, or Russ was having issues.
I think Russ actually was one of the one-offs. It was kind of interesting.
Really? Okay. Because this has been a great pivot, man. This is great pivot.
I like what they did with the placement on the X28. Like, I haven't held one yet, unfortunately. I do need to pick one up. But just looking at how everything's laid out, buttons are higher up, the sticks are higher up, so it's not too far down. That's my problem with a lot of these. Like, when the stick is too far down on the D-pad, it's just not comfortable to use. Right. But if I have to pick one, like this is going to be easier for me to move around with like the knuckle of my thumb, like this, than a D-pad. So that's why I'm like, hey, if the stick's at the bottom and I'm playing like this, like I can get away with this. This is okay. But using a D-pad like that, no.
To me, it all depends on the game I'm playing. Some games I prefer the joystick up top, depending. If it's a platformer, I prefer the D-pad up top. FPS, obviously, I want the stick. The 353 PS right there that Joey has.
I like this one.
That one has an excellent D-pad too, much like the 505. Mm-hmm. And this one had Hall sticks too, didn't it, Rob?
No. Oh, yeah.
It does, right? But they've been wonky Hall sticks. Like they're not
which is something that Gamma has fixed, I believe.
Really? So has like a filtering algorithm
he's
that's
still working on stuff. Gamma fixed everything basically with
the problem with those sticks though is if for whatever reason you need to replace them, they're glued onto a board. So it's not like you can just open it up and switch them out. Yeah. Because I was trying to put those, like when that first came out, I was trying to put them in a Joy-Con to see if we could get Hall sticks. This is before Gully Kid came out with theirs. And I had to kind of rig it in a weird way to get it to work. And it kind of worked, but not really because of that. Pad. Yeah.
I actually never took apart the RG505 because I actually never did a formal review.
Ace is all about that teardown game, man. Yeah. That's his number one.
I love doing that, but I think I recorded footage for it, and I just never ended up actually doing the review video for it. I just was doing other stuff on YouTube. So it happens. Like sometimes I'll record footage and then the video actually never gets out.
Like I was watching your video on it, and I agree with a lot of what you were saying. Like in my video, I actually mentioned how for retro gaming, I prefer the 505 to the 3 Plus. Just it's more comfortable to use. But at the end, like the 3 Plus was just a little bit more versatile because of the triggers were working, and if you wanted to stream, like you're gonna need those. So if I had to recommend one, like an all-purpose one, it would have been the 3
for sure.
But if you just wanted something to play retro games on, the 505 was the better choice.
Yeah, and now it's a real serious competitor with all the changes. I didn't realize how uncomfortable the Retro Pocket 3 Plus can be after some time, like because like if you're needing to use those L2 R2s a lot, and you get all crampy. I'm like, whoa, this is not good compared to the 505 where you got more of that size, so it's easier just to kind of grip it and also reach those inline shoulder buttons. So I know people are not crazy about inline, but it actually works on this device. It's actually not bad.
And people don't call it the Steam Deck D-pad enough. I mean, this is a pretty decent.
That's a really good D-pad.
Really good.
I'm not crazy about it. I'm not crazy.
I like it.
It's good.
I like it.
It's okay.
Hey now, Joey, you got the raw galley back there. Let's talk about that.
I sold my Steam Deck, but the Steam Deck D-pad was good.
I want to see that ROG Ally is also one of those.
I want to see a D-pad on your Ally. I had an Ally. And that D-pad made me cry at night.
Then again, if you're playing D-pad centric games on your Ally,
yes,
what's wrong with you?
I play NES games on my Ally.
It's powerful. Like just because it's powerful doesn't mean
scaling.
Just get your 35XX out for NES.
No, I want it.
No, what about indie retro indie games?
Yeah, I know, like Celeste and things like that.
Exactly.
There's good stuff. I know, but
I'm easy to please. Like if you give me one of these type of D-pads, no matter what, as long as it's not the 4 separated D-pad, I'm.
Yeah, I mean
that's a rubber membrane.
It's such a low bar for me.
Works. It's still usable. It's not like it's completely unusable. That's the thing.
It is unusable.
The battery life might be a different situation, but the D-pad is just
Have you gotten more than 3 hours out of it?
No. Well, I haven't played Super Mario World for 3 hours to try that, but I will say that turning off CPU boost and playing around with the TDPs makes a big difference for battery. Big
I think
difference.
I've gotten over 3 hours with it, but I mean, again, it's like Joey was saying, drop those TDPs, and you will get more than that. But again, it's just once you start going lower and lower in the TDP, you start losing out on what you actually can play on the device. So it's just
the Win 600 the Win 600 has the best Windows D-pad placement and functionality to date in my mind for Windows handheld.
I still think the Win 600 is a great indie machine.
I want it.
And if you like to play older PC games like from 2015 or earlier, just rock solid.
The Win 600 is a perfect example of where the D-pad goes and where you should never put the sticks.
I want another Win 600. Do we have any Win 600 in our marketplace right now?
Not bad. I mean, I like those caps I put on it. It made it a lot better for me, but
still, how? Why would you have your sticks further out?
That's it. I've decided.
Not going to go forward with another.
I'm decided. I need a Win 600.
Doing a lot of prototypes.
Who's selling one? Who's selling a Win 600? Which of you? One of you?
600 now.
One of you?
So,
I'm never gonna sell mine. Just it's sentimental to me. I'll always have my Win 600. No matter what.
Am I
like
right
the white
with
one.
this? Like, as far as like if you're keeping everything at 15 watt TDP, which is where you're gonna get like good performance and battery life, quote unquote, with all of them. There really isn't a difference between the deck, the 6800U, 740. Exactly. None of those.
They're all gonna have crap battery life.
If anything, the Steam Deck comes out on top, right?
The thing is, it's almost the same because the Ally and the Steam Deck have the exact same battery size. So if you're running both devices at 5 watts, the thing is the Ally has a little bit more power being offered at a 5 watt or 10 watt. Yeah. So you might be able to get away with running a little bit more powerful games that require a little more power. But I mean, again, it's almost going to be the same battery life between the two devices. They're really not one is better than the other when it comes to that. They both are x86 handhelds that you're not buying it for the battery life, basically.
Because I've been working on the Loki video, and that was kind of my assessment at the end. That's like, hey, if you're trying to use this as a handheld, and you're gonna want to keep the TDP as low as possible with the best performance. So 15 and under, it doesn't really matter, right?
And that the Loki has 6800U, right? That's the one that you're testing. Yeah, the 6800U I found is like 15 watts is the sweet point for that. You go lower, you're not going to get the power you need to run the games, and then if you go higher, then you're just killing the battery.
That's what I was seeing though, that at lower TDPs, the Steam Deck is more efficient and performs a little bit better. Like it's marginal, but it is a little bit better.
It's definitely compared to the 6800U for sure. Like the 6800U, I think it just can't handle it as much at the lower TDPs.
Yeah.
So that was my thing too. I found on the Steam Deck when I went from Steam Deck to the Ally, and the big thing was on lower TDPs, it's a lot better. But I couldn't deal with the screen. And once you get to the Ally screen, and it's not just the 120 hertz, it's the actual screen.
Yes.
It's beautiful. Like I was playing Forza on the plane because I was on vacation this week, and I'm like blown away by just how well it looks. And the Steam Deck never gave me that. So that
really,
if you're going to get that at 15 watts, do I want to have something that looks great or kind of better battery life by a few minutes? And I want the screen.
I want the battery life. I like the Steam Deck better.
Life.
I like the Steam Deck better.
I play away from a power outlet a lot, so that extra little bit of battery life like really comes in handy for me. It's why I like the Switch. Like the Switch OLED, I think that screen is awesome, and the battery life on that thing is ridiculous.
The screen's beautiful on the
my Switch OLED.
Okay, there were 3 Win 600s on sale throughout our Discord in the last week. All 3 are gone and sold.
And the thing is, like, for what they go for the secondhand price, they're actually
really
not a
good
bad buy. Yeah, they're not a bad buy. I see them go for like $200.
$200. I've seen it drop to 150 once.
That's you could do a lot with the Win 600.
Ergonomic pool noodles, by the way. This feels good if you need to. Wow, I could do some stretches on there.
That's what I was hoping Ambernick would do with the next, like the 701. I was hoping it was more of like just an improved Win 600. Instead of like, I want to see what they do with it if it does come out.
701, hell yeah.
The 701, because that screen looks awesome. I think it's a 16:10. It looks taller than a 16:10, which I'm a fan of.
The 1X Fly also from 1X Player is looking pretty sweet too, as far as new Windows handhelds go.
I know 1X Fly has a sort of hit or miss reputation. I know they're backed by 1X Player, but for whatever reason, the subset of the 1X Fly is kind of like this weird thing going on there. So, yeah. There's a lot of weird things going on. Like same thing with AOK Zoe. I mean, they're basically 1X Player as well. I mean, it's just
a subdivision.
All these companies are all connected some way. You know, it's pretty funny.
We're gonna go down the rabbit hole again.
Rabbit holes. That's what we're all about here. Rabbit holes.
Can we get a cross between
Ambernick?
Can we get a cross between Ambernick and Retroid? Because Retroid has the software down, Ambernick has the hardware down. If they were to just combine, it would be amazing. Why not?
Snake eyes.
No, like I wish it would happen. It would be cool if they came together because there's things I like from both of them, but I don't think they would play nice with each other.
No,
I love these hot takes.
Yeah,
sorry.
It would be cool though, because software-wise, I think Retroid is the only company that's like you don't really have to flash anything. Like it's gonna work right away.
And they support it too. They are very good about supporting it. They roll out really good updates that actually are improvements along the way.
They communicate with the community.
Yep, it's the least.
Well, they're
janky
starting to do that now. It wasn't always like that.
Here's what's crazy, guys. I'm still stuck on the Win 600. I can get one new on AliExpress for $370. Or on
don't do it.
Please don't buy it new.
No. On Amazon, you could get one new for $374. So if you're gonna get one new, $4 for Amazon shipping.
Next time I see Stubbs on camera, he's gonna be holding a Win 600.
First of all, I'm
like, I know you bought that off Amazon.
Wait. They have one for $350 on Amazon. Hold on, it's on Prime too.
Make sure it's not the 3020.
It's the 3020.
You want to at least get the 3050.
It's the 3050.
Don't do it.
No, I don't. I'm not going to do it. That's too much money for the Win 600.
Well, yeah. 250 maybe.
But I need one to show up in the market. I need to put up one of those. What do those people do? Those wanting to buy ads.
Yeah, want to buy.
Yeah,
I didn't even do one of those.
For sell forever.
With one of these guys. Check this out. Look what showed up today.
Is that a kitty?
Oh, nice.
My creamsicle in the mail today.
That was a good one, man. I like that handheld.
Awesome. I love this color.
That's a great color.
That was a really good
Fanny
one.
Pack, man, thank you. And shipping was super fast, and he's awesome to buy from. So, yeah, I'm going to leave him some good feedback.
I love Fanny Pack, man.
He's a solid dude. Awesome stuff.
How Kitty's had some solid
and this was Stubbs. This was Stubbs RGB 10 Max. So I got
that's right.
I got a little piece of Stubbs now.
And
Nice.
someone was talking about the Surface Duo earlier, and Russ took my Surface Duo, made it look way better with like this funky skin on it.
It looks
this
so
D-brand
good.
skin.
Yeah,
I was like,
awesome.
man, why didn't I think of that? That looks so much better. He
And he also applied it a lot better than you did.
Yeah. Thanks, Robert.
Also,
I think it sounds much more serious when Zeus does that.
Oh yeah, well.
I'm thinking back to the RGB 10 and this one right here. Like the feel of Palkitty's D-pads is actually really good.
They're pretty consistent about their. Usually they'll have one that it's like, what happened here? But for the most part, they understand D-pads. They're not really trying to reinvent the wheel too much, except for the Arcade 2023, which I think Zoo is so upset right now with us.
I'm gonna have to get in on that Palkitty. I don't have one yet.
They've got
make sure you pick the right device because there are some that are just, you don't.
Yeah, definitely get the RGB 20S. That's the one you want. You want the 20S.
That's the vertical.
That's the Tiger.
Little,
the Tiger
yeah,
one.
okay.
Like
I was offered that one for review,
one,
and I said no. But
no.
That's the one we didn't talk about. It's the Pocket Arcade or the rebranded one now.
That's
the 4090 Ti.
The crazy thing is that's probably the most successful retro handheld, like sales wise. It sold like over 200,000 units.
Jane said it sold 200,000 units.
Yeah.
Like, what? How is that possible?
That's what people's first experience. Well, I mean, if you look at it from the bright side, it can only get better after that.
So somebody asked in chat about the brightness on the Ally, and I mean, this is a webcam.
Oh, it's very good.
But Forza just looks fantastic on this. Like, it's a perfect example.
Oh, I mean, that screen is
games.
Beautiful.
Was there controversy about that?
For sure.
The deck was brighter than the Ally screen.
What deck screen
is? But
I don't know if that matters. I don't know if that matters as much as the crispness and the saturation.
Yeah, that's
the quality.
That's
Obviously, the Ally wins. The Ally wins there.
Oh yeah, the screen on the Ally is better.
It goes up to 400 nits, which is pretty bright. That's pretty decent. You know.
I mean, it matters if you're playing outdoors.
I love the Ally.
I do too.
I love this
Joe and I
don't love
stands.
it. I don't love it yet. I don't love it yet.
I've got a lot of content planned for the Ally. Like,
don't love it yet.
For sure.
I'm
going to be channeling a little.
I haven't written it off.
So we talked about that earlier. The EMU deck video that I made. I was super surprised in the month that Russ had it and others had it that nobody made it. I'm like, it's the first thing that I'm going to be looking for. And I just went out and I'm like, as soon as I got it that day, I'm like, I need to rush this. I need to get in it and do this video because I'm like, I want it and other people do. But Ally content, like Ally stuff right now is great. But I love the device, so it's fun to make.
Me too.
I hope it blows up like the Steam Deck because just the more popular Windows handhelds get, the more support we're going to get for them, and the better it's going to get. Like when the Steam Deck came out, it was a mess. And look at it now.
Can you fit that?
They just rolled out a BIOS update as well for the Ally.
Really?
22, I think.
Which changed the fan curve. So what they did was they raised the fan noise to change out the heat that was coming out of the Ally because it was hitting 95 degrees every time on turbo, and it would throttle all the time.
It's funny because I don't use mine much in turbo. I actually keep it mostly at like 15 to 18 watts. I find that
18's been good.
Yeah, I find like that's like the sweet point for most of the performance.
Not to spoil the video, but the fan, like if you set the fan curve on the low key, that thing is crazy quiet, and it'll still keep the temperatures low.
That's another thing about the Ally. The Ally actually also is very quiet, especially compared to the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck sounds like a jet taking off.
Like I was playing. What was I playing? I think it was
Steam Deck is usable.
No, I was actually. I was playing Xbox 360. I was playing Fable 2 on it, and the temperatures were staying at about 70, and you could barely hear the fan.
Yeah,
so the stock curve is horrible, so you do have to set a custom curve to it, but that thing can get so quiet and still keep temperatures down.
But can you fit an Ally in a fanny pack? Like the ones that we sell on our merch shop. Right now, they're $14.99 on our merch store.
That was something else for a second.
Retro Handhelds.
Yeah, you know what I'm thinking.
There's sexy fanny packs, and this isn't even the real price.
That last time I was on the store.
There's a sale price, so it's better than this price. Follow for sale. There's a sale this weekend.
That too.
Call now and you get two.
Call now, you get two. That's right. Look at this. Look at the back. Oh, you could put some handhelds in there, but you can't fit an Ally in there, unfortunately. So if you want to have the RH
can't fit a
pack,
Steam Deck in there either.
we don't need logic here.
But you can fit a Win 4.
Listen, you could fit a Win 4, you could fit a 505, And man, the fanny pack plus the 505, you're in the woods, you're out there for 22 hours, you're surviving.
Yeah, it was a good jock strap.
That's what I thought. That's the first thing I saw,
well,
honestly.
You can use it as a jock strap if you want. It's fine. But you got 20 hours of battery life out of this with GammaOS. You're out there in the woods getting your retro achievements if you have a satellite phone connected up. And this is a no-brainer. You know, we have merch.
Fanny packs are awesome.
No, I'm wearing.
We have.
I
haven't been. I was told by our producers that we're not repping
bear,
the merch store enough, so I need to rep it. So Gary was saying that the red bear actually wards off any sort of evils in your house. There's a white bear and there's the black bear.
I got the dog.
You have the dog there.
That my daughter stole from me.
I thought Gary wasn't allowed to see red things.
Well, I know there was the whole incident, but like we don't need to get into that right now.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to be careful.
It's okay. I know. I got you, man. We don't need to look at this hat though. You see the olive green hat? Look at this hat. It's right on there. You don't need a patch. Patches didn't even turn out that well. This is way better. Just print it on. You know what? This is like what, $18.99? No, screw that. Wait for the sale. It's like this weekend. Come on, you can get a Fred Durst hat. If you're down with the nookie, you can have a cookie.
Gilligan's Island hat.
It's a cookie. There you go, and you know you can
that
be really
with some Jinko jeans, and man.
You have the trucker hat. Look at this. You can do red.
Jeans.
You can do the Janko jeans. You can do.
I love how we have a white logo on the white background.
No, I'm not. You can get a pink shirt. You can get a green shirt. You can get it yellow. You can get it blue. Anyways,
get it to match your RG505 in yellow.
Okay, guys, we've really done a number on this one today. Good job. Just want to say to all of you, good job. All of you watching, good job. Thanks you for still being here. We actually have more people on now than we did before it went off the rails. That's
that always happens.
Really, really good. Hey James, yeah, we're selling Fred Durst merch.
Yep.
You know, Limp Bizkit's back on tour, and I try to celebrate that every day of my life.
As one should.
Yeah. Well, because he skins your ass raw. And he'll take you down with that chainsaw. And if this day keeps going this way, he's going to break someone's face tonight.
It's been a long time since I've heard lyrics to that song.
Yeah. And I learned something else from Fred Durst. And since middle school, this has been a key to my life. Don't have your mouth write checks that your ass can't cash. And I always took that to heart. And I told my teachers, same thing.
You just imagine him standing up, like angrily saying that and just walking out.
I could just imagine Stubbs having a heart-to-heart with one of his kids and saying that. This is words of wisdom.
It's gonna get copyrighted.
Okay. All right. So Joey, where can we find you these days? At the
7 different Twitter alternatives.
Yes.
I think I'm on.
Have you signed up for all of those?
I signed up for Mastodon, and then so I'm liking Threads. That was an easy one to just get signed up in because it copied your Instagram information.
Threads,
really easy.
Threads.
Jeez, I can't keep up with all the social media stuff. There's just too much.
It's really hard.
Rob, the fight like gets crazy. To keep Twitter. It's I think what should happen.
Rob, I'm annoyed at you. Sorry that you don't have a Instagram because I can never tag you and things. I always want to, and then I just barely started getting Twitter. I'm old. Give me some time to catch up.
Oh, it's hard. It is really hard getting used to these different socials.
But I keep tagging the wrong dad. I keep tagging some other retro tech dad.
That was the best.
On Twitter, on Instagram,
dude on Twitter.
On Twitter, you fixed it. On Twitter, you have a handle and it works, and I can tag you. But on Instagram, I keep tagging some rando in like I don't know, Helsinki or something.
The thing is, I only use it just to
make a dummy account just so I don't tag him. That's like I'll make a dummy account for you. I'll run it. I'll upload your logos and everything. I'll be like, I am retro tech. I'll do really sweet panning shots for all the pictures that I do. No, it's we've really We've really done it this time. Joey, your channel is a hip and happening place, and I've been enjoying all the videos. Everybody, please do go and subscribe to Joey's channel. We want him to join the 10K gang by next episode. That's the challenge, and it's up to all of you to make that happen. Not on Joey.
Need a lot more ROGLI videos for that one.
If you don't, Grimace goes away.
He goes away, and that's the other thing is that Grimace died today.
I can't believe it. Yeah, I can't believe it.
Oh no, he didn't die.
Subscribe.
McDonald's actually announced that they're retiring the Grimace character from their lineup right after Grimace's birthday was released. Right after he celebrated his birthday with the shake, they're like, "Hey, that was his retirement."
That's like getting fired right before Christmas. That's
just the worst Dpad.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I thought of I don't know if you guys remember the Lonely Island song, that Threw It on the Ground. Did anybody watch that? Yeah,
threw it on the ground.
The birthday cake for the kitty, so I threw it on the ground. I just pictured Grimace and like Ronald McDonald taking his cake and just throwing it on the ground.
Sorry, Tech Dweeb. We'll add some orange.
Oh no.
We also have a T-Public store.
Get yourself a Pow Kitty in orange.
Yeah, Tech Dweeb needs that one.
That's beautiful. I love it.
We have
it's the screen's also really nice on that one too. I love playing Game Boy Advance games on that.
Yeah, it's very sharp. I was actually very surprised.
Now hold on. I'm taking over this stream. Where do we?
By the way, there is another one up for sale on RH Discord.
What just happened? My son was in here doing silent.
We need more Canadian listings on that Discord.
Hold on, Tech Dweeb.
Oh,
look at this. We got orange.
Orange.
This is our T-Public store, mind you. But they're having a sale right now. 35% off. They have that sale every weekend. $16. Male fit, female fit, classic fit, whatever you want. You want orange? You got this. You want to do classic? You want to do tri-blend? You want to do a little bit of V-neck? You can do some heavyweight. You can do some eco shirt, whatever you. Okay, only the classic T-shirt has the orange color. But look at that. It's fun. If you don't want a black logo, well, guess what? You can have a white logo. You click right here. You do this. You go orange. Boom. Nothing but sweet merch around here.
Colorway. It'll match my Pow Kitty.
Match your Pow Kitty walk around. Be the coolest kid in school.
Have an RGB 20S in one pocket.
And then the fanny pack. I need the fanny pack too.
Gotta get the fanny pack.
Bright orange.
He needs
it. Amazing.
I'm sad. No, what are they doing to my boy?
They really did him dirty. I mean, I don't.
They really.
Why?
Really did.
So
that's messed up. How are you gonna celebrate his birthday and then just?
I don't know, but let's celebrate our patrons instead. So thank you to our patrons and our subs, everybody. So I updated this for July. So if I missed your name, let me know. But I don't think I did. We thank you. You couldn't do any of this without you. You guys are freaking awesome. Yeah, we'll join you on the next one, which is July 14th, by the way, with JaLanimal and $Bill, two of our esteemed patrons. They're going to be on here. We're going to be talking about, I guess, RPGs is the subject. They want to have a deep dive about the greatest RPG. We're going to see how that goes. I don't know what's going to happen because we're also going to have a giveaway. So we're going to give away my orange 35XX in the corner there. We're going to give away my Cheeto making machine over here.
Wait, you're giving away that orange one?
Yeah, that's
the Roof Cooper one?
Yeah, the Roof Cooper one. I'm going to be giving it away.
Oh, man. Yeah. Can I enter?
All you got to do is buy something from me. Anyone who's bought from me this year is automatically, entered into the...
bought something that used to be yours.
I mean...
It's orange, too.
And it's orange. Yeah, I mean...
I'm going to play us out.
Forget the giveaway. It's okay.
Well, you know what? Subscribe for more. And, we'll see you all in the next one. This has been Stubbs with Retro Handhelds. Take care of your handhelds. Take care of each other. And these are the other guys.
Bye, everyone.
See you guys.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.